Всем добрый день! Я рада поприветствовать вас сегодня, в этот солнечный день. Сегодня второй день весны, и погода нам об этом действительно говорит. И сегодня у нас третий вебинар в этом семестре на тему «Страноведение Великобритании. Век живи, век учись». Как вы думаете, о чем мы сегодня будем говорить? Сегодня мы будем говорить об учебе, об образовании. И давайте сейчас перейдем на английский язык, потому что все-таки занятие у нас по английскому языку. И я буду рада увидеть ваши плюсики в чате, что вы подключились. Поэтому, пожалуйста, поставьте плюсики, чтобы я видела, что я работаю с вами, что вы активно тоже взаимодействуете и что вас эта тема действительно интересует. Я думаю, что это будет очень интересно. And from now on, let's speak English and let's start our webinar. So, okay. So when we talk about education, what comes to your mind? Write down your ideas into the chat, please. Some words which you associate with education, school, university. I give you 1 minute to write your ideas into the chat and then we'll move on. So please think, write, and I'll see them in this chat. You can see some of these words in the screen. What do we have here? We have learning, training, teaching. So you can write a teacher, for example, or school books, school subjects. You can also write some of the school objects that are presented here. For example, a book, a ruler, a pencil case, and whatever. You can write summer holidays. I think that summer is your favorite season because of the summer holidays. Am I right? So now let's move on. Okay, let's move on. And do you know anything about the UK education system? I think that you already know something, but maybe not a lot. And I think that it will be very interesting for you to find out more information about the UK education system. By the way, would you like to go to the UK to study at a university, for example, or maybe just to take a course in English? Because I think that it's a great opportunity that you may have in your future. It's very interesting. So let's find out more about the UK education system. And now we've got a table here. We need to put the schools and exams into chronological order. I give you 1 minute to think which school will be the first one, the second one, and so on. I'll give you a hint. Подсказка. I'll give you a hint. What type of school is the first one? Think of it. Is it university, primary school, secondary school, playgroup, a degree? And what can be the second one? I think that the last one is clear. And what about the exams? What do you think about these exams? Which one is taken firstly, and which one is the last one? Let's see the answers. So, the first type of school is playgroup, игровая группа. It is a kind of kindergarten, right? Детский сад, almost the same. And the second type of school is primary school, начальная школа. But look at the age of children that go to primary school. It starts at 5 years old. And the next type of school, next stage of your education is secondary school, средняя школа. And when you are 16, you take GCSEs. They are General Certificate of Secondary Education. There are 9 exams. And if you want to go on studying after you are 16, if you don't want to start your job and you want to continue your education, you want to stay at school and study, to go to a university after your school, you need to study 2 more years, and then you take A levels. They are exams, 3 exams. And the last stage is university. And after you graduate from university, you start a degree. And what about our education system in Russia? What do you think? Is it similar or it's very different? How does it differ from the UK education system? Think of it and let's find out. So, what about the ages? It's slightly different, and the difference is here. Because we go to preschool or kindergarten until 7, and only then we start going to primary school, начальная школа. And then we go to secondary school, it's basic general education, and we take our general state exams. But we don't have to take 9 subjects. I think that now it's less. You will take general state exams next year. How many exams will you take? Write down into this chat. How many exams will you take next year? And then, in Russia, we've got secondary general education, which is similar to the British system, and we take unified state exams. And then we go to university, so it's almost similar. But do you know where is one more difference? When you go to school after you are 16 in the UK, you don't study all subjects. You study only 3 or 4 subjects, which you need to take your A levels. But in Russia, we study all of the subjects, maybe even more. Okay, and now let's go on. Let's look at the subjects which are taught at schools in the UK. I think that it will be very interesting for you to compare what they study. So there are core subjects English, mathematics, and science. What is science? Science is a mix of different subjects which are taught in Russian schools. Chemia, physics, so chemistry and physics, they are all here in science lessons. And look, even people of 5 years, they already take these lessons of science. And what else? They have design and technology from the very early stage of their education. Geography, computing. So they have almost similar subjects, but they are taught at different stages. But I think that it's more or less the same. But what do you think? Maybe your school has different subjects. I give you 1 minute to look at this table. Maybe you'll find something interesting for you. By the way, what is national curriculum? Национальный стандартный список предметов. It's a standard which is taught in schools. So every school, each school in the UK has to teach these subjects. But they can add other subjects. Да, они могут добавлять другие. And now we are going to talk about a different topic, which is a gap year. Have you heard anything about a gap year? Do you know anything about this term? Is it a period when one doesn't attend school and study from home? Is it letter A? Or is it a break from school, typically after ending high school and before starting college? Or maybe it is the process of a student repeating a grade because of failing on the previous year, да, повторять обучение в каком-то классе, repeating a grade because of failing, потому что плохо учился on the previous year. What do you think? Do you know what gap is? Look at this picture. Gap is an empty space or opening in the middle of something or between two things. When you are in the underground, there are always phrases. Mind the gap. When you step out of the train, mind the gap. Gap – это промежуток. I wonder why don't they write it in Russia? So, what is a gap year? Write down your ideas into the chat. Is it A, B, or C? I'll give you 20 seconds to write your ideas. And then we'll move on. By the way, college. In the UK, college is similar as in Russia, college. It is similar. But if you are in the USA, college is university. It means the same as university. But now we are talking about the UK education system. So, you are right. A gap year is a period of time, usually an academic or calendar year, in which a student takes a break from school, typically after ending high school and before starting college or university. And now we're going to read a text about the gap year. Listen to it and try to understand new words. Try to understand the main idea of this text. It's called Adventures. A gap year was one thought of being undertaken because something somewhere had gone wrong on the route from school through to higher education and on to the start of a career. So it was once thought as being wrong. Yes, it means that now it's not. But now a gap year is positively encouraged by universities, and employers look favorably on any worthwhile experience picked up while away from home because of skills gained such as independent learning, problem solving, self-sufficiency, and internationalism. What is route? Route – это путь. We've got Russian маршрут, which is from this word, route, маршрут. Encourage, одобрять. So university and employers, работодатели, positively encourage taking a gap year. Worthwhile, it's really cool, it's very useful. And self-sufficiency, самостоятельный. Gap years are usually taken before heading off to university, but they can be taken at different times. For instance, to break up your degree course or even before taking up a postgraduate course. It is thought that every year about 100,000 British 18-year-olds delay starting higher education in this way. That's roughly 1 in 8 of school leavers each year. Australia is the most popular destination for British students, with bungee jumping and walking the Sydney Harbour Bridge top of their list of things to do. Other popular destinations include Peru, Thailand, and India. So, gap years are usually taken before heading off. Heading off – направляться. Yes, to take your route, to head off. Degree course. It's almost like magistratura in Russian. So it's a stage at the university, and postgraduate course, it's even higher. It can be translated as aspirantura in Russian. And look, the number is huge. So many people delay, откладывают, starting higher education after school. They take this gap year. School leavers are people who graduate from school and they go to Australia, Peru, Thailand, India. That's great. I think to Europe. And now let's match the skills which are very useful, worthwhile for you if you want to start a career and to go to university. And employers encourage people who has these skills. Independent learning, problem solving, self-sufficiency, and internationalism. So match the skills with their definitions. Let's read them all and then write your ideas into the chat. So It is the mental process that people go through to discover, analyze, and solve problems. Mental process, ментальный процесс. Mental, it's in your head. Your brain works. The second one is the state of being international. I think it's easy, right? Being able to work together and try to understand each other than by arguing and fighting. So it's all about understanding each other, understanding different cultures, different countries. And the third is the quality of being able to take care of yourself, to be happy, to deal with problems without help from other people. The quality of being able, качество, иметь возможность, иметь мочь позаботиться о себе. Take care of yourself. To deal with problems, справиться с задачами, с проблемами. And the last one is a skill to learn by your own actions and direct, regulate, and assess your own learning. Direct, направлять, regulate, регулировать, and assess. Оценивать, assess. Assessment – это оценка. Assess – оценивать свое обучение. So I think that it's more or less easy, and let's check your answers. So, independent learning is a skill to learn by your own actions. Independent, независимое обучение, independent. When you don't depend on other people, on your school books, on your teachers, when you study by your own, when you take your time and study. Problem solving is the mental process to analyze and solve problems. And self-sufficiency is being able to take care of yourself, to deal with problems without help from other people. Being independent. And internationalism is being international. So let's go on. And I think that it will be very interesting for you to read what people who have taken a gap year tell about it. They are called gappers. Да? Люди, которые взяли gap year, их можно назвать gappers. So, Samantha Creek, she says, I'm so glad I had this experience. So she assesses it positively. Да? Она оценивает, she assesses it positively. And Kim Doyle says, I learned so much about myself from how I dealt with the little daily challenges I had. I think that challenge is clear, да? Задача. And here is one more sentence. Catherine Steveter, founder of Gap Year Solutions, says, studies have shown that college students who take gap years have higher GPAs and graduate on time. GPA – это средний показатель успеваемости. And they graduate on time. They don't delay their exams. They do everything on time. They are good students, brilliant students. And how will you tell your friends and your parents what gappers and experts think about taking a gap year? You'll use report speech, косвенная речь, которую мы используем для пересказа чьей-то речи. Мы делаем то же самое и в русском. Петя сказал, что не пойдет в школу. Вчера Петя сказал, что не пойдет в школу, да? А его сообщение было: я не пойду в школу. Он сказал, что не пойдет в школу. Мы меняем грамматическое время. И в английском происходит то же самое. Look at this example. I like cooking. She said she liked cooking. So we change present simple to past simple. Мы спускаемся на ступеньку вниз, назад. Из present simple получается past simple. If it was present continuous, we need past continuous. То есть present мы переводим в past. Present perfect, past perfect. А что если у нас уже past? Past simple. Тогда мы используем past perfect. Или past simple остается. Если у нас было past continuous, то переводится в past perfect continuous. Или остается past continuous. Если это было будущее время, will, то переходит в прошедшее would. So let's read these phrases. I'm so glad I had that experience, said Samantha Crick. So here is present. I am so glad. It's present simple. So we'll need past simple here. I had. And here we'll take, it was past simple, and we'll need past perfect. Let's do this sentence. Samantha Crick said that she was glad she had had this experience. Мы все переводим на ступеньку вниз. Here, I learned so much. It will be she had learned so much about herself. We need to change these pronouns as well. Myself, herself, from how she had dealt with the little daily challenges she had had. But you can leave it in past simple, not past perfect. You can say she had without changing it. And the last one, Catherine Stewart said, studies have shown that college students who take gap years have higher GPAs and graduate on time. So have shown. Present perfect goes to past perfect. It was have shown, it will be had shown. And who take, it is present simple, right? So we need to change it to past simple. Take, took, right? Here, have, present simple, past simple, and graduate the same, present, past. So in our final sentence will look like this. Had shown that college students who took gap years had higher GPAs and graduated on time. I think that now it's more or less clear when we've done these exercises, and you can add that, or you may say it without that. Samantha Creek said she was glad. Samantha Creek said that she was glad. It's the same. And imagine that next year you don't have to go to school and you're going to take a gap year with your friends instead. Where would you like to go on your gap year? Think of it. I'll leave you with these thoughts. You already know that people from the UK, from Great Britain, they prefer going to Australia and India, Peru, Thailand. But we've got here more countries. We've got more countries here. I think that you know that it's India. What country is it? Do you know it? If you know, write your ideas into the chat. And this country, these two countries are in Europe. And these two countries are in Asia. And it can be any country on south, right? And you know that it's Great Britain. So I can give you the answer. It's France and it's Spain. It may be China, or I think that it's Thailand. Look at this label, Thailand. And so if you want to do an additional exercise, you can read this text about gap years. I think that we can read it right now, and your additional exercise will be to report Sarah's speech from Sarah Bowen. Let's read it first. Most students heading for a gap year take up a part-time job. What is a part-time job? Неполный рабочий день, да? Part-time job. To save up for the trip. Even once they get to their destination, we already had this word, destination, путь назначения, they'll work to earn their keep. Popular jobs include bar work, fruit picking, and being a tour guide. Sarah Bowen, 19 years old, who went on to study medicine at Manchester University, taught English in India and found the experience wonderful. So you can work even as a teacher in other countries. Look what she says. We were allowed enormous flexibility in teaching the children, from general discussions on pollution and politics with the older students, to games like I Spy, and lots of English songs with the younger ones. It has given me a sense of self-reliance, that I can survive without everything at home. It's been an unforgettable experience. So, your final task is to report your speech. Да? Сделать косвенную речь. And I think that you found our webinar very interesting, very useful. Thank you for your participation. If you have any questions, please write them into the chat and I will be able to answer them after our webinar. Thank you and have a wonderful week. Goodbye. See you the next week.